I hope y'all can hear me. I think y'all should be able to hear me. I will loop through these questions one more time. Let's actually get rid of the audio here. Let's get rid of the music here. Wanted to try something just a little bit different this morning when we got started. So I hope y'all are all doing well. That's actually the last question. We got a few more minutes. We got 6 minutes to go until we get live. So put your answers down below, folks. And we're going to be gifting out some online tickets to our eMissionary conference. So I'm going to go back through here. This is all based on the book of Job. I hope y'all can hear me. Let me unmute myself for a second here. All right, so I'm sounding fine. So now don't be cheating. Don't be cheating now. Don't be looking this stuff up. So let's go to question number 1. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm going with the wireless. What did Job's wife suggest he do? What did his wife suggest he do? Now, the other reason why I'm doing this is we're going to be dropping some other stuff, some RSS feeds, so that y'all could pull some of these questions and put them in your intro countdown for your service. So this is something I've been building up the database to be able to do some stuff. So it will randomly pull some stuff for y'all that you can interact with your online congregation and the people inside the house. How are Job's blessings measured in the end? Who tested Job's righteousness? And we do have some scripture to back all of these up. Who tested Job's righteousness? And I got to verify some. I did look over these. Some of these look strange. And how many children did Job have originally? All right. Now I'm going to jump over to some more difficult ones here. So I'm going to jump forward to round 4. Let's go ahead and jump to that. Now, these are simple. These are true and false. Hold on, wait a minute, Brian, you messed me up. Did I have friends? No. How many children did Job have originally? That was that question. So let's jump back over here. And these are true or false. All right. You got 20 seconds on each question. So 10. Well, we just go into it. Boom. The Tower of Babel was built to reach heaven. True or false? True or false, people? Wonder how that's going with you. Just simple true and false. All right. The next question is, the book of Romans is in the Old Testament. Hello from Germany. We're starting up just a little bit different today. Just want to try something a little bit different. And I'll go back to the comments at the top. All right. Aaron was the brother of Moses. True or false? True or false? All right. Next one. Pay attention. Revelations is the last book of the Bible. All right. This is question number 4. Please put, just to make it easy, I should have thought about this. I'm going to go back to the first question and put Q1 and then your answer. So that way I know which question you're answering. So let's go back again. Number 1, true or false? The Tower of, and I'm going to pause these from automatically moving on. So please put Q1, question, then the number, then your answer. All right. The Tower of Babel was built to reach heaven. All righty. Next question. The book of Romans is in the Old Testament. Make sure you put a Q2, then your answer. That's the only way I can rate who got them all right and get y'all to win a ticket. Yeah. Question 3. Aaron was the brother of Moses. True or false? True or false? Aaron was the brother of Moses. True or false? All righty. Getting ready to come up on the next question. Pay attention. Revelations is the last book of the Bible. True or false? Question 4. Again, Revelations is the last book of the Bible. True or false? All righty. Question 5. The Bible has more books in the New Testament than the Old Testament. True or false? Question 5. The Bible has more books in the New Testament than the Old. True or false? Mike, hello. Jeff Miller, hello. Question 6. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. True or false? That is, actually, I'm sorry, my count is off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Question 6. This is question 6. My bad. I need to put numbers in the corner. That will make this easier. Again, question 6. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. True or false? All righty. Question 7. Job is considered a book of poetry in the Bible. True or false? Job is considered a book of poetry. True or false? Shrink these down so I can see these a little bit better. Ooh, I got some tougher ones. David. Next question. David was the first king of Israel. True or false? What question is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is question 8. Again, question 8. David was the first king of Israel. True or false? All righty. Getting ready. Got a little bit more. Was David the first king of Israel? True or false? Next question. Jesus was baptized in the Sea of Galilee. Question 9. Jesus was baptized in the Sea of Galilee. True or false? True or false, peoples? Oh, I'm sitting on my headphones. Jesus was baptized in the Sea of Galilee. True or false? All right, last one. Question 10. Question 10. The Ark of the Covenant contained manna. True or false? True or false? The Ark of the Covenant contained manna. Is that true or false? Giving y'all a nice, healthy dose of the Bible trivia that we're going to be having at our E-Missionary Conference. Can't wait to see y'all there. But what y'all think? What say you, good people? Last question again. The Ark of the Covenant. Does it contain manna? True or false? True or false? All righty, folks. Let's go ahead and get started like we normally would, and we'll come back to the answers. How about that? Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO. How y'all doing this morning? I hope y'all are all doing well. Wanted to start it off just a little bit different. Actually, I was making a different intro and it just didn't pan out right. Been trying to do videos this week and it just didn't work out the way I wanted to. Maybe I'm just trying to be too much of a perfectionist. But anyway, we'll get into that. AJ the CEO, folks. We try and come here every Friday to help you with your media ministry questions. I don't know everything, folks, but the little bit that I do know can help you on your journey when it comes to media ministry. And let me move my stuff over here so I can bring y'all up. Let's go ahead and holler at some folks here. Now, I hope y'all can read between the lines. I think Brian will probably get it. Creative for Fun will probably get the reason why I did that stuff. So we're going to try and come a little bit different today. But let's go ahead and holler at some folks. Parker, hello, hello. Mr. Clarence, how are you doing? Richard Thomas, hello, hello. Creative for Fun, good morning. Brian Jones, hello, hello, sir. Brian, did you get my email from the teacher stuff? Just want to verify that with you. Coach, how you doing? How you doing? So a lot of those here. The Hopion, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hello from Germany. Which part of Germany? I was in Germany only for a little bit. I landed in Copenhagen when I was going to Ireland. Techie Terra, hello, hello. Bonjour. Let's see, Mike. Hello, hello. And I see somebody saw the answer. Jeff, you read between the lines. Gahil, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hello, hello. Fresh Start Church of Philadelphia. Hello, hello. All right, so we're still waiting for some more people. So before we go over the answers to everything, I have been in the process of trying to, and why is this not going down? Hold on. Why are you? 1, 2, 3. Hold on. There it goes. All right, folks. So again, let's jump right into it. Why am I doing stuff like this? First off, I want to kind of mix it up on what I'm doing, but how many of y'all know, how do you get more people related to your streams, your content, and all this other stuff? It's interactions. So the reason why I do the stuff that I'm doing, why do I ask for a poll at the beginning? It is multifaceted. The reason I'm asking y'all is saying, hey, first, we always talk about it. It's called the Power of Habit. It's also the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Once you get people in a positive yes mentality, they will keep doing that. You never give anybody a no as an option, as in a negative, meaning that when you look at my poll, I say, hey, have you hit the like button yet? Yes. I'm doing it right now. Don't give a no. Don't give a negative. It just changes the mind to think about stuff like that. Also, that's the reason to get y'all prepped for that. That's also interaction. You're doing more in engaging with the stream that is considered a interaction. So that pushes more interactions to the algorithm. That means, wait a minute, something is going on here that a lot of people are doing some type of interactions. As well as when I ask y'all to join and say where you're coming from, leaving a comment is also interaction. So now you got the poll being interacted. You got people hitting the like button, interacted. You have comments being interactive. So then we go into a Bible trivia that asks you to put your answers in the comments, and as everybody interacts in the comments, that as interaction. So that tells the algorithm, man, something is good is going on here. Let me start pushing this video, this content to more people. That is the reason. You have to understand the rules of everything. Let me jump back here. Brian, I sent out an email to all the teachers with the recording of the teachers meeting and needing y'all to I put the schedule out there so you can set your schedule what your class name is going to be, and you pick your time. If you didn't get that, I need to push that out again. It was coming from forumeconference.com. I'll send that out again if you did not get that. I hope that helps you. And then just interact. I'm juggling a bunch of things at the same time, but let me go ahead and get the formalities out the way, and we'll get into some questions with y'all as well too. So folks, want to just thank you so much for getting involved with what we're doing. Just know that if I'm not able to get you a question, no, you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. And if me and you go back and forth more than 3 emails, I highly recommend you go ahead and just book a consultation. Go to ajhomes.com/consultations. You can book a phone call, Zoom. I still do Google Hangouts, Google Meet. We also do on-sites, we travel, we do all that stuff, folks. I think that's about it. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, go ahead and go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions. You are in like Flynn. We did not have a roundtable last week because it was Easter. So we are going to have one this Sunday. All the information is there in the Facebook group. Also, I didn't do a graphic about it, but some of y'all asked for it. And as time has freed up, we're going to go back into reviewing church live streams to not critique as in, oh, you're not up to AJ standard. No, not that at all. It's like, want to highlight some of the stuff that's being done that we can pass off and share to other ministries to give them ideas on what they can do. Or if people ask me to critique and find issues, that's when I will. If not, we're always going to be looking at a positive light on what we can do. Be on the mind of lookout for that. I'll be requesting that. Or you can always just email me at questions@ajhomes.com and put in, I need to make a graphic for that. It just says, hey, a live stream review. And then I'll start doing that. Want to start doing that at least once a week. I might pick a day so it's every week on a specific day. What else am I forgetting? We already hollered at everybody. I think that's about it. So let's go back and let's go to these questions here and let's see how well y'all did. All righty. We're going to go back here. Mark, thank you for interacting. So this was true and false. I have a bunch. I got about like 3,000 questions now that I randomly pull from. And maybe we'll do another one just to let you see some of the gusto. So let's go through it. Let's have some interaction here. So true and false. First question. The Tower of Babel was built to reach heaven. True or false, people? True or false? What say ye, good folks? And actually, you know what? Let me put this. Nah, I can't do that. I wanted to have it automatically come up. Hey, Bert, I'm glad to be of help. So what's the answer? Actually, let me jump into this. Let me jump to this one. All right, this one reveals the answer. So the Tower of Babel was built to reach heaven. True or false, folks? What is it? It is true based off of Genesis 11:4. All righty. So question number 1, that was true. All righty. Number 2, the book of Romans is in the Old Testament. True or false? True or false? That is false. The book of Romans is not in the Old Testament. It is in the New Testament. Question 3, Aaron was the brother of Moses. True or false? Which one was it, folks? I'm making sure my audio is still good and all that stuff. That would be a big true. That is, Aaron is Moses' brother. Exodus 4:14, if you want to reference. Revelations is the last book of the Bible. True or false? If y'all been hanging around me long enough, you should know the answer to this. And that is a big false. It is Revelation, not Revelations. There was only one revelation in the book of Revelation. There wasn't revelations. There were not multiple. Next question. And I need to fix that text because it's chopped off right there. The Bible has more books in the New Testament than the Old. True or false? That is a humongous false. There are 39 books in the Old Testament, 27 in the New. All right, next one. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. True or false? Is that a big true or false? That is true. Matthew 26:15, if you want a reference. Nice one right here. Job is considered a book of poetry in the Bible. True or false? All right, Brian, thank you. Glad you saw it. Philip Paul, hello, hello. And that is true. Job is considered a book of poetry. David was the first king of Israel. True or false? True or false, people? What say ye? And that would be false. Based on 1 Samuel, because Saul was the first king. Well, was a king before David. All right. Jesus was baptized in the Sea of Galilee. True or false? True or false? What say ye? That's false. What was he baptized in? Oh, and I'm bringing up the scripture and I typed in the wrong thing. And what was it? Then Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan unto John to be baptized. He was baptized in the Jordan, not in the Sea of Galilee. Last one. The Ark of the Covenant contained manna. True or false? True or false? That is actually true. Now, my question is, how many of y'all know what's in the Ark of the Covenant? Because you know the 10 Commandments are in there. We now know manna is in there. What else is in there? Anybody know? Anybody know the other item that is in the Ark of the Covenant? So, again, just thinking about different ways to interact. It's not, yes, we're focused on our church stuff and we want to send the message of Jesus Christ throughout the world and highways and hedges. Yes, that's what all of this tech allows us to do. But like we always say, if we're playing in YouTube and if you're still doing Facebook's playground, you got to play by their rules. And if you want to invite more people to your shindig that you're doing in their playground, you got to play by their rules. So that's interactions. That's how you put people in a mind to want to respond. There was a video that I've been meaning to do and it just never panned out. It was analyzing the first 5 minutes of a Stephen Furtick live stream. And it's mainly seeing how much interaction they're getting with their online congregation. So pastors and ministers, if you're on here, or media ministry, get the people who are on the pulpit to engage with people online, because that's just ultimately going to help you. If it says you got to make up a hashtag and be like, hey folks, say hashtag it's already done, put in the comment it's already done, hashtag already done. Why? Yes, it wants to get people involved online, but it is also engaging with interactions that drives more traffic. Brian is a good example of this. Going into the other thing, start making clips, reels, shorts. You're getting way more engagement. I think, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong on your stats, but when Brian started doing reels and shorts, he's had a 2,000% growth on interaction from regular stuff. You got to learn all the stuff that's going on there, folks. And Mike is the only one that I see. Yes, it's Aaron's rod is also in the Ark of the Covenant. So, folks, like I said, really excited about all the other stuff that is coming up. Like I said, let's get rid of that. And we're going to go here to our Bible trivia, not Bible trivia, our regular stuff. If you like what we do here, folks, know that you can always go to evemissionarygear.com, pick up some swag there, some merch. Everything that goes helps contribute to the things that we do here on this channel, as well as our conference. Also, send me an email so we can shout out your media ministry team, folks. Y'all know I'm preaching to the choir. The media ministry is most of the time the less acknowledged group out there that's in the church. So let me use this platform to go and shout them out. Send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com. My media team is the subject. Send me a picture of your team. Tell me where you're at, your location, your city, state, your country, wherever you're at in your church's name, so I can shout them out to the heavens and thank them for their service towards everything media ministry related. Again, I want to thank you for those who are continuing to buy me book. I still got a few that are behind me. If you still wanted some signed ones, you can go to AJaytheCEO.com to get that. But again, we are pushing forward, folks. It looks like I'm in the exact same place. Really excited about our eMissionary Conference that is coming up the 18th to the 19th, July 2025. Teachers, need your schedules so I can fill out everything there and start setting up schedules so everybody knows what everything is going on. We still got plenty of time that and why is this flickering again? That was my USB last time, the cable. So I got to change what, how I'm capturing stuff. I don't know if when I rewired this, I started having this stuff flicker. But anyway, it's not too late. If you're still interested in becoming a teacher, go to 4meconference.com and then click on teachers, teach at the top, and we'll send you all the information there. Register, get yourself a discounted ticket to be a teacher, and then we can hopefully get you there so we can help share your knowledge with ministries in person as well online. You can teach in person or online. You go to teach, it jumps you down here, pick whichever one that you got. And we are 83 days away, folks. So really excited about all of that stuff. I have been filling out some more stuff here. So we got some great teachers here: Monty, Dominic, Francisco, Roslyn, Rob, Elder Rob, Mike, who was on here, Phyllis, Creative for Fun. Need your Creative for Fun, need your time as well too. Hugh, we got Pastor Thompson from Bristol. Got a bunch of people from Pennsylvania that are coming down. Bruce from Texas is going to be teaching. Janelle Youngblood. We got Johnny from California. We got Fred teaching on ministry photography, Andrea Bacon, David Bell, reimagining evangelism. And we got some more. We got plenty of space for y'all folks. So excited about all of that fun stuff that is going on. What else? We will be having our next teachers meeting is going to be a dry run, testing out everything and, kicking the tires, make sure everything is good to go. And on May 4th through the 10th, I will be in New Orleans, Louisiana. So if you're in the area, love to catch up with you. And I think that is about it. That's enough of me blabbing. So folks, if you have any questions, please start it off with a Q so that way I can find it easily. And you never know, we might pop in and do some other stuff as well too. Brian corrected me. They actually grew by 3,000% interactions with doing shorts and reels. So awesome. He also says subscribers have increased noticeably as well. We drop short videos on YouTube and TikTok daily. Sweet. You're saying, could you go up on the volume? Actually, I was using this. Let me go back to this one here. Hopefully this is way hotter for me, but hopefully that works better for y'all as well too. I've cranked up. All right. So I'm literally one line from red. So hopefully that's better for y'all. Michael, checking to see if the form is available to sign up to offer tech support during the that's what I forgot to do. My bad. I am going to do that right after this and do a form. So my apologies. I got way too much stuff that I completely forgot that I said I was going to do that. So I'm going to make a form and all that. So we'll get you straight here shortly. Thank you for the reminder. And I'm logging into the website so that I can actually start making that page as well too. But let's see. I hope y'all are all doing well. And I think since I messed up on documenting all this other stuff, let's try this again. We're gonna I'm gonna give out first place and second place. No, we're gonna do 2 rounds. Each round we're gonna give away a free ticket to our eMissionary conference online only. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do what would y'all rather do? A free ticket online or a 50% discount for either one? So that way, if you want to come in person, it's half price. Or if you do online, it's half price. Which one? Let me again, you really want to be in person for this one. But let me know. But what we're gonna do, let's go over the ground rules of how everything is gonna go. How we're gonna do this next round is it's only gonna be 4 questions. Let me make sure I pick the right one. Thought I was way too many. Yeah, it's only going to be 4 questions. All right. And you need to do question 1 with your answer, question 2 with your answer, question 3, question 4. All right. Hope that works out for you. And we're going to do 2 rounds. So once we do that, the winner is going to go. We're going to do the prize related to the conference, and then we'll go from there. All right. Are y'all good with that? All righty. Let's go ahead and let me cue this up here. And may the odds be ever in your favor. All righty. So now we reaching in the depths for some of these questions. I hope y'all are ready. All right. So Michael said 50%, and I'm gonna come back to y'all's questions. All right. So question number 1, there is a 20-second delay on these, so that goes on to the next one. So I will loop through the questions twice. All right. Please put a Q1 with your answer, Q2 with your answer, Q3 with your answer, Q4 with your answer. So what I would highly recommend is just don't post your answer immediately. Put all 4 answers and then send your comment. That's going to make it easier. All right. So number 1, who said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? Who said that? Who said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? Like I said, we'll loop back through the questions. Number 2, question number 2. Who said, you stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears? Who said that? Who said, you stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears? Who said that? Question number 3. Who said, the ox knows its owner and the donkey its master's crib? Who said that? Who said that? Who said, the ox knows its owner and the donkey its master's crib? Who said that? Last question. Who said, how shall I curse whom God has not cursed? That's a deep cut. Who said, how shall I curse whom God has not cursed? All right, and I'm going to get to y'all's questions. Let's loop through it one more time. So this is round 1. We'll come back to a round 2 later on in the live stream. Again, the first question is, who said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? That's question number 1. Who said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? Number two, who said, "You stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears"? Who said, "You stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears"? Who said that? Number three, who said, "The ox knows its owner and the donkey its master's crib"? The ox knows its owner and the donkey its master's crib. Who said that? Last question. Who said, "How shall I curse whom God has not cursed"? How shall I curse whom God has not cursed? What say you, good people? All righty. That's all four. What do y'all think? So I'll give y'all some time for that and we'll jump into some questions. Jeff wants to know, new to live streaming, our services, even with CCLI license and streaming license numbers in our descriptions, we keep getting flagged for copyright infringements in our worship. Any ideas? First, look who's actually doing it, because unfortunately, it's a bunch of scam artists that claim ownership of stuff and they really don't own it. So, like for example, I'm gonna log into a church that I know gets hit all the time, and the stuff they're getting hit for is not legit. Let's see. Let's go here, and I need to change the account to here. So let's go in the back end here, and let me show you what this stuff and this tomfoolery looks like. All right, so this is Good Shepherd, and see, they get hit here. So if I come in here, look at copyright, glorious is thy name. And I am sure this is not legit. So they're saying that this is the issue. These are the people who are claiming it. And they said a melody of the words are being used. So let's go ahead and look up these clowns. And it says it's Lifeway Worship. Copyright claims. So a lot of these are just like, this is trash, to be quite honest. Like some of these, I'm not trying to go down in the weeds with this, but the issue is anybody can claim anything on YouTube, because YouTube and Facebook, they do not vet, do you actually own this? Like I had an Indian company claim ownership of Lift Every Voice and Sing. First off, that song is in the public domain, notes and words. You don't own that. The first thing you got to do is, like, a lot of times I get hit with stuff, but I fight it because I know that you can't lay claim to that. And they said laying claim to words. If the words are being displayed and they actually have a copyright, you can't do that. You can't show words because that's something different. And unfortunately, and you can't play an actual song. Now, most of the time you can win. Like when I would get hit for stuff saying, "Hey, you have this." First, we didn't play the word. We didn't display the words of a song. And you can't copyright a claim of my interpretation of a song. Because if that was the case, no one could do anything. Think about that. If I wanted to play Kirk Franklin's Silver and Gold, but I do it in a different key, I do a different rendition of it, you can't claim me playing that live. So like, for example, my very first video that I ever did on YouTube, get it to play. Oh, no, that won't it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. This is the very first video that I ever posted on the YouTubes. And this is when I did not know what you could and could not do. All right. So here, I am going to mute this right now because I was playing Darwin Hobbs' Champion. That was the first song that I ever did back in the day when I had my house. I missed my house. So I was playing this. Now, the issue is I was playing the recorded track while I was playing this. This was wrong. I could not do this. And I got hit for that. Now I know not to do that. So if I was just playing this and I had the actual track in my ear and I was the only one that can hear that, then no, you couldn't claim that. Or I had more of a grounds to stand on, because it's like, no, you can't copyright me playing your song, my own interpretation of it. Because like I said, if that was the case, no one could ever play anything. So I hope that makes sense. But the thing is, you got to fight a lot of this stuff if it's not legit. Now, I must say that unfortunately, sometimes people just don't pay attention, and they do play a lot of stuff like this. They're playing a video, and that's from a movie. So yeah, they got hit for that. You can't do that. You can't play videos. You can't play audio of stuff that you do not have the rights to. And if I go to their live stream, now this was a funeral. This was Resurrection Sunday. So let's see what they got hit with. He is exalted. Blessed the name. Blessed be the name. Like, they don't own that. Yeah, so this would be stuff that I would fight. But just be mindful that sometimes there are bad actors that are doing this stuff and claiming it. So let me jump to where. See, that's being played live. Like, no, you on high, high, high. That's not even the people that own that song. So again, you would need to know a little bit. Like, actually, it's funny. He is exalted is by part of it was Darwin Hobbs did that, which was funny. But no, that is being done live. That is not their recording. Video uses songs medley, and no. And then all these people do not own this. These are known people that just put junk all the time. So unfortunately, you got to fight that, and you got to realize, make sure that you're not in the wrong. And yes, you can fight that, dispute that. And most of the time, these people, they just hit a whole lot of people at the same time so they can make monetary gains off of everybody, and it's not legit on what they're doing. And if you fight them, they have to respond in 30 days. Most of the time when I do this, they're not even looking. So if they don't respond in 30 days, the claim is automatically dropped. I'm getting hit from stuff I did 8 years ago because it's just bootleg trash people putting stuff out here. So that's what I would say. All right. Let's go back. I didn't see that many people drop some answers to the questions. We only got a couple, so let's see. Let's go back and see what the answers are to that. So the first question: Who said, "Why was this fragrant oil wasted?" We got 1, 2. Oh, that's the same person. I only see Michael pretty much answered all of these. You're close. You're close on some of these. So Michael was saying, the disciples. You're somewhat right. I mean, you're right, but I was looking for more a direct answer. And the answer to that is actually Judas said that. Exactly. But I'll give it to you. I'll give that one to you. Second one. Second question was, who said you stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears? No one got this one. It wasn't Jesus. It was Stephen in Acts 7:51. All right. The next one. Who said the ox knows his owner and the donkey is master's crib? That would be Isaiah from Isaiah 1 and 3. And the last one, Mike, I can say that you won because you're the only one I see that got some answers in here. For that. And who shall I? Who said, how shall I curse whom God has not cursed? That was Balaam, Numbers 25:7-8. So, Michael, that is you. So, Mike, if you would send me an email at, well, DM me or send me an email and all this other stuff, I will send you a code so that you can get into the stuff. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off at? That was form. We did that. That was a live stream. We answered for Jeff. Let's see the next one. Heal. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. What do you think about the new OC Go Stream Duet 8 ISO? I have not seen that one. So let's see. OC Duet 8 ISO. So it's a much bigger version than the original. Will you do a review? Last time they sent it to me to do a review. If they send me one, I'd happily do one. I might email them to ask them about it. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many inputs? All right, so we got the hard drive. And why is my resolution so jacked up? All right, so looks interesting. Has NDI. Now, the one thing I do like about these, because it can stream to multiple platforms at the same time. I might need to email them and see if they will send me one to review. It looks pretty cool. And it can have multiple source. Okay. So kind of like a super source type of thing. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think it's I mean, I just like the fact that there's competition. I mean, even though I use Blackmagic stuff, I mean, it's cool. I just like that these other companies help hopefully push competition and make more things available. So if they send me one, I'll review, but I will send out to them as well and see. Jeff, what I would do if your license covers the exact song that they're claiming, you have something to stand on. So what I would do when it comes to stuff like this, you dispute it, put your license stating all that stuff, and then I would also say my license covers the song, and the person claiming ownership of the song does not own the song. Most of the time, because what happens is you dispute it, it goes back to them. If they're not paying attention to it and it's just a bot, that's why it drops after 30 days. If they reject it, you can push it back one more time. And now legally they have to show it goes to court, and people, they have to legally show that they actually own it. Most people never do that because they're trying to intimidate you. So, and that's why I always tell churches, as long as you know that you are in the right, and like you said, you have the licenses to do that stuff, and just triple and quadruple check that that song is under your license. If you do, then you got everything to dispute that, and you got everything on your side to do that and fight that. And my stuff is still flickering again. Greg, I think I responded to you. So, what is good for the headless HDMI plug? So, certain programs need multiple monitors. So, I have I have, and I wish it would turn off. I have multiple monitors here. So my graphics card actually can interact with all of these monitors. But sometimes people don't have that. And like Presenter is one program that doesn't support NDI natively, but it needs to see two monitors, because if not, you only have one monitor, which is the screen that people can see. So I used a wireless HDMI because it was actually for a church that they didn't have a big workspace. They didn't have space for another monitor. So their computer, the main monitor, is for somebody to interact and see the screen. We put a headless HDMI in the computer. The computer thought it was another monitor physically connected. So now Presenter could output the presentation. We capture that in with screen capture, and we were able to send that in OBS and everything. That's what that was used for. It's used to trick the computer into thinking you have another monitor, and then software can capture that fake monitor and interact with it as if it's something physical. That's what that does. And I thought I brought your comment up. I don't know why I didn't bring up. I clicked on it, but my bad. Let's go through some other questions here. Yes. Looking for an intercom system for our multimedia group. What do you recommend? Plan on reviewing one in the future. Right now we're using hand signals. Well, one of the ones that I have that I reviewed a while ago was Hollyland one. Hold on one second. So this is the, hold on, I can't hear. This was the Hollyland that I did a while ago that they sent me. So this came with 4 units, kit pack, headphones with mic, and then a receiver that sits here. And then I had this with the people in the media. This was well before COVID. But we had this with, like, when I was playing on Sundays, I would have this down on the piano so that I can talk to the people in the media. But then all the other media could talk. It came with 4 headsets and 4 receivers. You could get bigger ones here, but that's the one. Now it's a little expensive. When it came out, this was around like 800, 700, 800 to $1,000 probably now. But what you could do, I mean, there are ones that have everything built into headphones, but that's mainly the ones that I've used before. And, you know, unfortunately, being in some of the media since COVID, I mean, max will probably have like 2 people, 3 people, and we're sitting right beside each other. So there hasn't been a need for it, you know, but honestly, that's the one I would look into right now. That is the Hollyland. What model is it? It just says wireless intercom. It doesn't have a serial number or nothing like this. And this, I've had this one for quite a while. Well, it's the Mars T1000. That's the model. I hope that helps. I didn't drop it too hard there. Back to Jeff. Easter Sunday, I deleted the live stream, edited the video, and made sure all that was showing was our live worship and sermon, no videos, etc. And all 4 of our live streams got flagged. Yeah, that's some junk. I would fight that. Like I said. Let's see. Craig. How do I get how to get your file back from Easy Worship? Your computer went to a blue screen. I don't understand. Are you saying how do you get your file back from Easy Worship? Your computer went to blue screen. I'm not understanding what you're saying. You send that again to me again because I'm missing something. Then this computer keeps flickering. It's getting on my nerves. Samuel, can I use 2 Mevo cams and OBS? Last time I checked, the Mevos cannot interact with OBS unless you're using NDI. I have not looked at the newer ones, but most of the people have not been able to use the Mevos with OBS. But again, it's been a minute. And why is this flickering? That's getting on my nerves. So I'm gonna have to change up something. Cable or something needs to be changed here. I'm probably gonna go back to a HDMI out and do an actual capture card directly into my computer for that, because I don't know what I messed up when I was mixing all this. Maybe I got too long of a cable or something there under my desk. Lamar, hey AJ, have you had ATEM Pro not being recognized by the computer for video out? What could be the cause? I personally have not had that. I have had some people that had that either the HDMI on the back has become pulled loose and the solder broke loose on the motherboard. I've seen that happen. I've seen them just die, and that has been what happened. The television studio that I have here, that the church got hit with a lightning strike, and half of the SDI out does not work, and the HDMI out on that does not work. So those are the only times I've seen that. But I mean, if it's been a while, the easier thing to do is the A10 Mini Pro is $295 now, unless that one got pushed up as well too, from the tariffs and stuff like that. It will probably be easier just to get another one than it is to get it repaired, because they'll probably charge you just as much as getting it repaired as it would be to buy a new one. Let's see. Philip Paul just want to confirm, did you go through my question earlier about the XR18? No, I did not. I missed that one. Hold on, let me see. Your question was, we have XR18. Could you explain how the save scene and save channel presets work? Is there any way I can save the gain for a particular mic? Yeah, when you save a scene, it does that. Saving a scene is a snapshot of everything of how it was set. Hold on 1 second. Hey Google, turn on XR16. All right, so I'm gonna turn on my XR16, and the concept is still the same with that. So if we cut over to that, we connected. There it goes. We're connected now. So as you can see, I have my Rode sending out here to test. Let's resize this. Nah, that's too big. All right. So from here, the way this is at, these are our scene, our settings. When you do a scene and save it, on. So you can save it as a scene. That's going to keep everything there. So I'm doing this off camera. 25, 2025. I saved that on my desktop. And what that did is saved all of this. So if I come in here, like the levels and all this other stuff. So if I come in here, crank this all the way up, and I don't know, give this or something like that. And if I load my scene that I just saved, and I open it, so I'm restoring it from my drive from right here. I saved it on here. As you can see, it restored everything back. So that's your scenes will save your gain, your levels, all that stuff. So like I just went to a church like last week to fix something because somebody made some changes to the sound system. I redid restored the scene that I did originally back 3 years ago, and got everything working, made updates, and then made a new save, a new scene based off of what I did. So if anything happens, we can always restore it back. So yes, hope that makes sense. That a scene does do all that. And then your other part of your question was save channel preset. Saving a channel preset is the same thing, but it's only saving just one channel instead of all of them. So I hope that makes sense. Alrighty. Where do we leave off at? Did you do an overview of free show presentation software? Have you tried it? I have tried it. No, I have not done a video over it. I think, let me see, because I get mixed with a bunch of these. No, I have not, but I will. Yeah, I saved this and I haven't got a chance to make one yet, but I will. I don't have nothing next week, so I'll probably try and do something then. Hope that we can get to that. And Craig was saying how to fix the Easy Worship file from a blue screen computer. I mean, if your computer is blue screened, it's locking out everything. So is it only, does the computer only blue screen once you open up a specific file in Easy Worship? Is that what you're saying? Just trying to get some more details if it, I mean, because if it's completely blue screened and it's not starting back up, I mean, it's not an Easy Worship thing. But if your file, I would find out, try and just, what type of file is it that you're trying to open in Easy Worship that's crashing your computer? AJKC and Lady G. AJ, what streaming software are you using? I love the comments. I am using vMix right now. vMix has all this, I always point the wrong way, has all this fun stuff built into it so you can link it to your streams and all this other stuff. I've been meaning to do a video on, like I did part 1 of this setup here. The other one is going to be on the vMix and setting up and everything. And based off of the little fluctuations I'm getting right now, I'm probably going to have to go and get a physical capture card that goes into this computer. And then I'm going to, well, actually I have one. I'm going to pull it out of this system and put it over here so that I can actually start doing a detailed video, and we'll talk through vMix and all this other stuff. I'm going to do another video as well because vMix, I'm going to do a breakdown of how I'm going to use vMix at the conference when I'm doing the Bible trivia at our conference and other stuff like that. So I'll be doing a breakdown on both of those. Bert, recommendations for a Mac for running Constellation. I would do the latest one, the, what's that, the M4. I would get that one. That should give you more than enough power for that. My bad. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I was thinking Easy Worship. All right, let's go back. Let me go to your recent one. So whole computer went blue screen. We had to buy a new computer. I mean, but so it just, a blue screen just out of the blue. What happened? Because most of the time, what you could do is get yourself a thumb drive, and depending on what version of Windows that you're having, you can download a media creation tool, and you can make a bootable USB drive, put that in the computer, let the computer boot off of the USB, and it will take you to the repair tool. And then hopefully the repair tool can go through and repair your Windows. Or if it doesn't, you can go back to the last save state if you have that turned on, and that should be able to restore your computer. But again, blue screen can be random. Most of the time it has a code on there. If you look up that code, it can kind of point you in a direction what's causing the green screen. I mean, it's too much. It's too much that can be explained to easily answer that question. Are there ways to do it? Yes, there are. But again, it all depends on what actually caused it. I mean, if I've had an issue like my computer over here, the streaming right now, that blue screen because it was a Windows update that just jacked up my entire system. So I wasn't able to restore that because it was something that was related to. Sorry, I just got a bunch of stupid spam people. All of a sudden, I just get a whole lot of calls from companies saying, "Hey, do you want funding?" I was like, "No, I don't. When I needed funding, you didn't call. When I don't need it, now you're blowing my phone up." Or just a bunch of spam people. But anyway, so for me, the hardware was the problem because Microsoft sent out some update that was bricking a bunch of AMD stuff. So I would have to have reinstalled everything all over again, and I would have lost everything. That didn't. The easiest thing for me is I got a new motherboard and a new processor, and the next version, that was a B550. I went to a B650, the next generation, and then I put everything in, and it just booted up perfectly fine because the driver that Microsoft pushed off was causing the issue, and I got around that. There's other ways where, oh, if you got another computer, take the hard drive out, put it in another computer, copy everything up. I mean, there's multiple ways, but you need a little bit more detail to actually kind of give you a path for that. All right, we got a lot of people helping each other, which is always great. Thanks for all you do. What HDMI splitters have you used that provides the lowest latency? Ori. Ori is what I have under my desk. I got one over here. Got one over here. Ori has been my go-to, and I have not had any issues. Out of all the installs I've done, I've used Ori, and I've never had to replace. I have had to replace ones because somebody will get something different, and it died after a certain period of time. Then I put an Ori in place and have never heard back from them at all with issues. So I hope that helps. So let me see. Let me show you some of the back end nerdy stuff here for my resident programmers and stuff like that. Again, folks, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me on Friday. Hopefully the stuff I'm doing is helping you. So if you don't mind, hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you're wondering why you can't leave questions, that's because you haven't subscribed. You need to hit that subscribe button and then be a subscriber, I think, for at least 10 minutes. And then you can enter questions on these live streams. So again, sorry if I'm going down the nerd rabbit hole right now, but this is my database. Got to use that SQL knowledge for something. So this is my main database that I have with my questions that I've already filled out in here. So start from Bible trivia, use personal. So we got a bunch of questions here, about 1,748 that we go through, different types, data types, our references and things like that. And I add more questions in here. Sometimes I have ChatGPT searches for questions, generate questions for me. Other ones during reading, I'll make them into a question. And then I come in here, and then I have my wonderful stored procedure here. Where is it at? I come here to my store procedure here that will write this stuff out, and it will reference all of this, my database. So I come in here and have it doing random stuff. I'll say execute store procedure rounds. How many rounds are you going to do? I do 4. And then, hold on. Did I hit the wrong button? I think I did. Wait a minute. I think I got the wrong one. No, that's right. I put parameters in 4. How my stuff gonna break right here in front of me? Oh, I was right. I was looking at it wrong. So see, this now generates 4 rounds, 4 questions for each round, and then there's the question, then there's the answer, and then I sort it, and it's the type of question that I have, and then I make that pull that information into a slide, and that's how I do it. So that's why all these questions. The whole goal is to get to about like 5,000 questions, and I pull this stuff live, so no one is gonna know. So we're gonna pull these things and add them into our countdown and all this other stuff, make it kind of interactive and things like that. So just think about that as another way that you, if you're doing your countdown at the beginning of your service, your live stream, and that's why I was trying to do mine before, because that's 15 minutes that I wanted to respect y'all's time and make it worthwhile. So I was doing a flashback of all the videos that I did, and then I was adding information and stuff like that. So for y'all, that 15, if you're doing a 15-minute countdown, that's 15 minutes. Yeah, you can see the welcome. Yeah, you can see the music. You can see the time. But what else can you do with that time? You can go through and do announcements. You can go through and do highlights. You can do a bunch of stuff. You can do trivia, anything to get people involved. Otis, how are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. Again, there we go. Yes, it is. If you want to contact me, email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Jeff, I got you. IT manager turned church sound guy, media guy. Like, I same way, and I just add musician on there as well too, and we're in the same boat. Hey Jeff, thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. Back to Philip Paul. Have you come across with a USB PCI card? Is it plug and play, or do you need to install drivers for it to work? I mean, well, it all depends, because most of the time the drivers, it's not really a plug and play anymore, because most of them are generic. So yes, you could plug it in and then Windows will automatically detect it, or Windows Update will pull drivers for anything new if it's in the repository. So yes, I have used USB cards when I needed to add more stuff, more ports to a computer. So yes, I have done that. Let me see. Yeah, how many folks we got here? So y'all want to? All right, waiting for this other question to pop up here. We're gonna do another round, so I want y'all to get ready. All right. So Michael won the first round. We're gonna come back to another round and give out some tickets for our conference. After these last two questions, we're gonna do it again. Stuart, how do I get to stream live to Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at the same time? Also, ideas to boost Twitter account for my church. Well, we did this before. You can use OBS that has plugins that can do multiple streaming. If you want to do TikTok, honestly, the easier, I mean, you can use OBS or go to Prism Live. Prism Live allows you to go to all of those platforms at the same time, as long as your computer and your upload speed is fast enough. So OBS or Prism Live, if you have vMix, you could do it. vMix doesn't have it natively built to TikTok, but as long as you have the streaming URL and stuff like that, TikTok will work. So any of those will work. And again, boosting your account engagement is you need to be producing something that's worthwhile for people to come to. That's all it ever is. Unfortunately, like when I taught at Career Day, and it was funny, I had my daughter had a school event going to her new school, and we had an open house yesterday. And it was a bunch of kids that were there, and they kept coming up to hi Ayana's dad, and the parents were like, oh, you're the one who was here for the YouTube and all this other stuff like that. My kids are always talking about that. Now, that is physical interaction, meaning that something that I gave to those kids made them be engaged enough to talk to their parents about it, and then it's circled back. That's word of mouth. It's going back around. So why do people talk to me? Because of what I gave them. So the same way, you got to think about that online. Why are these, which annoys me sometimes, like people that are just doing stupid stuff, why are they getting so much engagement? Because it's entertaining. And it's entertaining a lot of people, whether at their foolishness or this other stuff. Like, for example, like, I don't know if y'all been watching it. I watch the interactions of Vitali and Johnny Somali, because they're a bunch of in real life live streamers who are going to other countries, and they got arrested for doing stupid stuff. Why is that engaging? Because what they did was so stupid, and the fact that they're getting punished, it's entertaining. That's why people are watching it. So now let's flip that. And the reason why churches are not getting engagement is because not everybody, but most churches are demanding people to watch them without giving them anything worthwhile. And I know you might say, well, we're giving the word. I was like, well, you can find the word with anybody else. What separates you from if all you're offering is the word and nothing else, how are you any different from the church down the street or the one on the other side of the country? You have to engage and learn people skills, learn what people want to hear. Because if all you're bringing to the table is just the word, you have to do something else. think about the same way. Like Jesus was given the word, but what else did he do? He healed. He did this. He did that. He met people at their needs, and when their needs were met, a lot of people did leave, but then other people stayed around. I think personally, what I see is the church is not doing anything to try and get anybody there except for we used to be the standard in the community. So that's why you should come. We're not doing nothing now. We're not doing anything online. We're not doing anything with tech. We're not doing anything to embrace. We just want to live off of our old victories. And that's why you should come. They're not actively going and knocking on doors. They're not actively using ads. They're not actively learning any new way to reach people and show why people should want to come here. Like, for example, I think for me, why do y'all come to me? Because I think that I've given so much in content. That's why y'all come. Like, I'm not begging y'all to come. I mean, we got almost 69,000 subscribers, but how many people are online right now? We got about like 56, 51. It just dropped. So we got 51 people on here. So, you know, I'm not demanding anybody to come. Y'all come because I did something that y'all liked and y'all want to interact. So I think that's the same way. You want to get engagement. You have to meet people where they're at, offer something to them that meets their needs without wanting anything from them. That shows your sincerity. That shows your honestness. Like I have so many people that come to me and they're like business churches. They're like, they don't want to go with me because they're like, his price is so much cheaper than everybody else because they think it's junk. Or they bring me on and I do a on-site with them and I give so much information. They're just like, we thought he was charging us an arm and a leg. $150 is not an arm and a leg for me to drive a bunch of places, but I do that. But then I give you so much more. That's just old business that I was always taught. Give more in use value than you take from financial value. So if you pay me $150 to spend my time 3 hours with you, driving there, talking with you, me driving home, I spend 3 hours with you for $150. But in that hour that I'm with you, I gave you something that's going to save you 8 months to a year worth of spending money in the wrong place. Is that worth your time? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm blabbing too much. You just need to give more in value for people to want to interact with you. That would be my case, the answer to that. Wiz Nation, I have a mixer and a computer. When I plug it into the computer, it just dropped off. I don't know what else you said because it just dropped off. And then your next comment says I'm using OBS. So I don't know the next thing that you need. Please put the rest of that and I will answer that for you. MA16V3. What is a good source for learning Python, MySQL, trying to become more of a MySQL, honestly, is kind of I learned SQL. That's what I learned. Well, I had one class in college, but then what is I use SQL Tutorial, which is at w3schools.com. That is a good resource for learning stuff. Like if I need a refresher, w3schools.com has a lot of the principles of SQL. They do have a bunch of stuff, Python, XML, a bunch of different languages. And sometimes if I forget something, I go back here and reference that. So I will put that in the comments. So saving some time now. Are y'all ready for another round of stuff so we can give away another 50% off ticket for our conference? Anybody ready for that? Let's do that and we'll come back. So I have fill in the blank. Yeah, let's do fill in the blank. Let's do those. All righty. So let's see if y'all ready for this one. All righty. Richard, I will get to your question once we get through this. All right, y'all ready? It is fill in the blank. And I'm actually only going to do 4 of these. I'm going to just do the first 4 of these, all right? So like I said, start off with just do Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, put your answers there and send all of that at the same time or individually, doesn't really matter. As long as you do the question, that way I know what your answer is. All righty. Are y'all ready? All right. First one. No man can serve two, for either he will hate the one and love the other. Fill in the blank. All righty. Getting ready to go to the next one. No man can serve two, for either he hates one and love the other. Next question. A merry heart doth good like a. What is it? All right. A merry heart doeth good like a. And now I'm going to cheat because I'm going to jump to some other ones, some more difficult ones. Oh, this ain't difficult. But seek ye first the of God and his righteousness. Should have picked a harder one. But seek ye first the of God and his righteousness. And the last one. Thy word is a unto my feet and a light unto my path. Come on now. Everybody should know that. Everybody should know that. All righty. I hope y'all did well. I'm blocking out some of these so I can come back to these easily. All righty. Y'all got it? Y'all need them? Y'all need to see them again? All right. First one is no man can serve two, for either he will hate one and love the other. That was question one. Question two, a merry heart doth good like a. That was question two. All righty. Question three, but seek ye first the of God and his righteousness. And again, I'm doing this hopefully to give you some ideas that you can put this in your countdown for, or just put it up, flash it up before service starts. Get some interaction. And the last one, thy word is a unto my feet and a light unto my path. All righty. Y'all got it? I'm going to give y'all a few seconds to catch up. All righty. Now, let's go ahead and fire away. Y'all ready? All right. No man can serve two, for y'all should know that. Masters, Matthew 6:24. All righty. So D Green is the first one that got it there, but Stewart got it as well. Hollis got it as well. And Go Pat My has it as well too. All right, question two. A merry heart doth good like a medicine. Richard got both of those so far. All righty. Last two, I thought they were going to be more difficult, but they're easy. But seek ye first the of God and his righteousness. Kingdom. All right. Teresa got question three right. Hollis got three right. Richard got three right. AJKC got that. D Green got that. Stewart got that. And the last one, very simple. Thy word is a blank unto my feet and a light unto my path, a lamp. Psalms 119, 105. All righty. So let's see. The first one that I saw that got all of those was Richard. All right, so Richard, what I need you to do is email me at questions@ajhomes.com and I will send you a 50% off discount coupon to use, whether it be online to the conference or in person. So again, Michael was the first winner and then Richard. So email me and we will get you straight and squared away. Oh, and I hit the wrong button. All righty. So let's get the last few questions out of here and we'll see what we can do. Back to MA16. And what are some use cases for either that I can use at church? Need a project that will. Now, is this going back to your SQL stuff, your SQL question? Now, personally, what I've done now, what I'm doing with mine. Now, you want know the nerdy part of me, Mike? I know you said you were excited about this. So the nerdy part of here is this. So for me, the conference, I have a whole database that I've built out for the conference where I'm doing classes and all this other stuff like that. I got the teachers and all this fun stuff that I'm building out so that I can import all this other stuff into the website. I didn't do my use. So we got our teachers in here and all this other stuff that I can reference. And then we have our classrooms that I've built out as well too. You know, I can assign people to this. And then as y'all fill in, as the teachers fill in when they're going to be teaching and all this other stuff, I have my whole system that calculates how much time they need. It offsets and it pushes it to a different position. Who's the teacher? What's the class title? This is what I do. And then all of this is being driven and sent to my display cast that will reference videos that play at certain timestamps so that when people are walking around at the conference, they can see what's going on at any given time. That's what I've used. I've used also these for keeping an inventory of songs when the last time a song is done. Other people could use it for like inventory of when people are coming in and out. You can do that for, I mean, if you really want to be nerdy, you can write your own type of finance software, but that's overly nerdy, but that's up to you. I mean, I've used it for mainly I've done it for databases for keeping a list of sermons, sort them by scripture, by who preached them, what day, what's the event, what's the topic. You can build out something like that with metadata and fill that stuff out if you wanted to do something like that. Let's see what else. Do you use YouTube in vertical mode? Do you recommend? Personally, I don't, because the content I do, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how to shrink what I do into stuff that's for reals. The only time I do vertical is if like I'm traveling. So like when I was coming from the missionary cruise or when I was in Ireland or in London and stuff like that, I did vertical because I was streaming off my phone. That's the only time. I personally always do my stuff like this just because of the type of stuff that I do. Um, I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. Vertical, like if you want to accent whoever's preaching and put that and stuff like that, then that's great. For doing it for audience or something like that, no, I don't think that's a good approach for that. Back to Richard. For vMix, what's some tips for audio to sound clear in the sense that vMix that doesn't affect our audio quality? If it's affecting your audio, I would think you're hitting probably the limits of your system if it's causing any audio issues, if you're talking about it like that. For me, I don't really change anything. With the audio that's coming from my Rodecaster, it goes directly into my system. And what you're hearing is that I might turn it up, but that's me turning this mic up. So give me a better example. Are you noticing like a quality get dropped when it's going to vMix? Because I mean, my first reaction is thinking that the computer is kind of hiccuping on your audio and adding something. That's the first thing I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. As a sound engineer, what's some steps to get into the basic video since they go hand in hand? Well, I mean, that was kind of like mine. I started with being a musician, and for me, music touches. It can engage emotions, and you can drive a lot of stuff based off of music. Um, Video kind of went hand in hand, kind of like what you said, because now you can get somebody emotionally going somewhere with a song from a feeling standpoint, but then you can amplify that so much when you have the visual go along with the audio. That's how it naturally progressed for me. So like I can play certain, like if I play to Xanarkin from Final Fantasy X, that song, like here's a little bit about me. I actually had that song as the intro at my wedding. I love that song so much, the piano from it. And just to have something go along with that, you can have one song that sounds very beautiful, but then if I put that with like the birth of my daughter, that the visual with that, it just messes me up so much more because now visual will make people go back and think of memories, and you're driving memories to help amplify whatever you're doing. So that's kind of like how I like to tie the video with the audio. I mean, that's just me. I mean, most of the time for me, when I learned this stuff, it's like I just dabbled. I just played along with this stuff. And I'm like, I like to make stuff that's like, what do I like? And that's why I step on my own toes a lot of times because I have a lot of videos that I want to put out, but I'm like, I don't like it. So I hinder myself, and Mike is the one who tells me this all the time, put it out anyway. Because, yeah, I might not like it, but it might be a benefit to somebody else. But I need to get out of my own way with that. But that's what I do. I just find something that matches. That's why sometimes I struggle with the music when I do videos because I have to start with music that leads me into a video because it's kind of hard for me to do a video and then match a song to it because the vibe might be different. So I don't know. I don't know if I blabbed, but I hope that makes sense. Are we on the last one? Let me see where we're at. Stuart was like, which application are you using for Bible trivia? The program that I am using is ProPresenter. That's all I was using. ProPresenter is just like I do the same thing with scripture. I come up here, put the scripture out. That's what you're seeing right there. So just using the same stuff. Any presentation software, I just made slides with the questions on here, and that's what y'all are seeing. Philip Paul, we have a 5600G 32 gigs of RAM running OBS without record live stream only. Sending HDMI out to the, you're sending the HDMI out to the A10 Mini Pro. The problem that I have is when I switch to my intro video, then my camera feed goes off. Then when I switch back to the camera, I had to for a while until the camera comes back. Why are you sending the computer out into the A10? Just wondering. Because I mean, if you and my camera feed goes off, why does your camera feed go off? Is the camera connected directly to the A10? And for a while until the camera comes out, the camera source is HDMI to USB capture card. Well, I don't understand. If you have the camera going into a USB that's going into the computer that's running OBS, and OBS is sending it out to the A10, why are you doing that? Just wondering the flow, because why not just have the computer connected to the ATEM, have the camera connected to the ATEM, and then you won't have that issue? So I'm just wondering the workflow. Richard wants to know what's my email. Again, that is questions@ajhomes.com. Tech Lab Studio, watching while doing a media install in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Awesome. What are you installing while you're there? And thanks for watching. Hollis, well, I think if you get into DaVinci Resolve 20 has an update. Well, they already had it that you can format stuff in vertical. Personally, what I would really love to do, because I mean, this is still sometimes you're dealing with old school churches, so they don't like this. Personally, what I would like to do is have somebody with a vertical camera, like now, like my Pocket Cinema camera, I can walk around with this in this format, and then I can capture stuff vertically so I can get a full shot. Because to take a shot like this and then crop it, unless you're shooting in 4K, the image is going to be kind of jacked up. Now, again, I'm just using this. You can take any camera that does video and just hold it this way, and you can do that, or with your phone. But personally, what I would like to do, and some churches are still kind of against this, because like you start walking around in church, and especially you might have a white gloved usher might judo chop you in your neck because you're walking around. And that's what I think Fred is going to be teaching about ministry photography. Y'all need to get up off of people standing still, because again, just like with branding and stuff like that, you have to be realize that you you want to capture moments in the moment, and those are those things that you can't capture. Like when do y'all have anybody um taking a picture of when the church is in prayer or something like that? I don't know, it's like an aesthetics type of thing. But again, so many people are so stuck on tradition, they don't realize the benefits that you can get from, like, you don't want nobody walking around, but what if that one picture of seeing somebody in a prayerful moment or something like that, you don't know how that can engage and make somebody's memory go back and be like, oh, I remember when my grandma looked like that when she was in church, and I haven't been in church in years. And then that just triggers a whole bunch of stuff, like a butterfly effect. It kicks off, and now that person, because of that one picture, engaged somebody's memory and made them want to come back to church. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like there's so much stuff that we do. You don't know what little bit that you do can hinder or enhance your ministry. You just don't know. Jerry, audio from mixer. Do you use pre or post fader? Well, it all depends. I mean, most of the time I do post fader because I'm using a separate mix so that the faders will adjust based off of what is being done after I've made adjustments to my fader. Pre fader is, it doesn't matter what your faders are, you're going to get whatever audio that comes at that level. So like I do pre-fade when I'm going to um, personal mixes for the musicians, because I don't want to set the volume for them. I want them to be able to set the volume to whatever they want. Um, and I got to think of when other alternatives, when you would do something different. I'll probably turn that over to the more seasoned audio engineers out there. For me, I normally do post. Tizanakin is in fact S tier track. Exactly. See, we got some gamers out there. If y'all know, Final Fantasy is a great RPG. I first got into Final Fantasy right when I joined the military, and that was the first game that made me get a PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy 7 was my very first Final Fantasy game. I played that when I was in 29 Palms, McCaxey, Marine Corps base. That is where I got into RPGs and fell in love with them ever since then. Divine Connection. I have a Blue Yeti mic. What application should I use to sound more professional? Well, it all depends. Any application you could use, but what is your setup? What is the Blue Yeti being used for? Is it kind of like in a setup like I'm doing right now? Because if that's the case, you can send that into OBS, vMix. They have other plugins that actually can do stuff. I use all the Rode stuff because this is a Rode Pod mic and the Rodecaster, and it's already calibrated, so I can turn on post and processing. So, like for example, if I turn off the processing on this mic, my mic sounds like this right now. You can hear all this other stuff, but the processing automatically fixes a lot of this stuff. So now it sounds like this. So that's how I married mine together with that. But there are a bunch of programs, but I need to know your full setup and what is capturing the audio first, and then where is it going? And then I can help. But I would say OBS does have a lot of plugins that you can use to clean up a lot of that stuff as well too. Philip Paul, it's a static camera, so I use OBS to make a few angles crop and stuff like that. Well, I mean, that your setup is the reason why you're having that issue. You don't necessarily have to have the camera come in to do that. You could have that camera go into the ATEM, and when you go to camera number 1, if that's what you have that camera connected to, have a different scene that you have to manually engage with those crops with that, and then you won't have that going out signal, kind of like what you said. quick advice, AJ. I see the need to start a podcast program. Um, we should be major. What should we major on technically? Also, the message so as to engage with online audience maximally. Well, the thing about it is, from a church standpoint, if that's the focus that you're coming from, a podcast, we don't need, I say this all the time, we don't need more sermons. What is really needed out there in the world is common sense, straight answers. So, MA16 V3, I was doing good. Let me go ahead and turn this off. Let me get on my soapbox. Here's my rant. Not a rant, but this honestly, this is what I feel is the truth. We need more people teaching the basics of the gospel of Jesus Christ, because it's a lot of people claiming to be Christian in certain political positions that don't show any form of the fruit of the Spirit. Their actions are completely contradictory to what the Bible is. So they say that they're Christian in name only, but their actions don't match anything. And they don't feel convicted that they're wrong, because either they're just downright evil, downright stupid, or a combination of the both. Or the nicest way, I would say, they're ignorant, meaning they lack knowledge. So I think what needs to happen is, from a podcast standpoint, me personally, I think we've made the gospel so daggone difficult that some people don't even want to get into it. Just like when I look at media, they think they see all the stuff that I have here, just like getting started, and everybody's like, well, I can't get involved because I don't have all this stuff. You know, you don't need that. Or some people like, well, I can't get into church because I have to have all this stuff right. No, that's not it at all. I think podcasts, or just from churches in general, just need to be simple with what they're teaching. And podcasts can talk about that, reference that, talk about real life stuff. Like you're sitting here talking about, prices of everything is going up, but then you want to talk about tithing. Like, just break it down so that people understand that you need to talk about the truth, not your opinion, the truth. And if we're talking about the truth, we're talking about, let me take me out of it. Let me stop trying to convict you and let the word convict you. I don't need to convict you. I don't need to make you feel guilty. The word will make you feel guilty if you listen to it right and you're in the right place. I don't need to add anything to it, nor do I need to take anything away from it. You need to present it, and you need to talk about it in a standpoint. Like for me, when I teach, yeah, I could go down the rabbit hole and I talk so complicated to show off my brain to everybody, but then you alienate people. The idea is you take complex matters, simplify it so that anybody could understand it. The same stuff that I teach y'all, when I go to my daughter's school who's in 5th grade, they understand what I'm talking about. If you're trying to just flex your brain power and your biblical nunchucks on people, you're pushing people away. So again, when it comes to a podcast or any content that every church should be making outside of their service, answer the common sense questions. How do I pray? How do I fast? How do I forgive? How do I actually cast my cares? How do I walk by faith? How don't flex your biblical acumen on people. Like, your podcast needs to talk the simple stuff to where it's like, when I walk away, I'm not confused. I get an answer. That's my personal opinion. And I don't think that was that much of a rant. We got some more Final Fantasy fans out here. Hey, I thankfully I'm still at a place my daughter can't beat me in video games. Brian, Blue Yeti mics are omnidirectional, so it will pick up everything in the range. Yeah, so that's kind of a downside to it. But again, it depends on what that mic is going to be used for, and that follow-up question as well too. Or have cardio patterns So that's the heart shape. So it actually is focused here. So you're not picking up everything in this direction and stuff like that. So, like, for example, if I turn this, I'm talking directly into it. If I turn this away, you see it doesn't pick me up that much because the sensitive part is right here. Omnidirectional, no matter where I was at, it would work. So, again, Brian, thank you for that. That is true. I'm gonna be quiet on that. I mean, but no, but that's the issue. Like, y'all know I'm a Christian. I have beliefs on certain things, and my role is to teach my daughter my beliefs by my example. Then I teach her what I do and why I do it. But I need her to see it in me first. So if you're trying to yell from the rooftops that you're a Christian and you want to get rid of people, when the Bible says you didn't feed me when I was hungry, you didn't clothe me when I didn't have any clothes, you didn't put a shelter over my head when I was didn't have anywhere to live. You're a Christian, but all your actions are other than that, then either you're not a Christian or you're a woefully uneducated on the Bible that you're claiming that you follow. Now, with that being said, I don't push my beliefs on anybody. I share my beliefs. If you don't want to hear it, that's great. I don't have to tell you. It's not my job to get you into heaven or hell. It's not. My goal is just to share with you, and you cannot say that you did not know. That's it. To Now, this might be controversial, but Jesus never put anybody in a headlock to believe him or to do it his way. He didn't do that. So, to force people to be in a Christian environment to where you have no other options, that's not free will. That's control. If Jesus and God didn't do that, passing laws to make you have to do it in a Christian way, first off, is stupid, because what if somebody isn't a Christian? If you allow your rules to go like that, and if somebody else has a different beliefs, then you have given them authority to do the same thing. That's why, at least here in the United States, it's supposed to be a separation of church and state, meaning Christianity focuses your personal direction on how you act. But let me leave that alone. I edit projects. Love the name. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. See, I try not. My whole thing is like the church, we could do so much more with what we're doing, but we are trying to fight a 21st century battle as if we're in the dark ages. And then we're so busy trying to flex how much of a Christian we are, we don't realize that our actions don't match nothing. And your actions betray your declarations of you being a Christian. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, because I'm not perfect. Never going to be perfect. There's plenty of things that I still struggle on, but to sit here and act as if I got it all together, that's a lie as well too, because many have sinned and fallen short of the glory. But to sit here and claim that you got it all straight and this, and this, and the fact that you can't admit that you are wrong in anything, ministers, laity, politicians, the fact that you can't label yourself as wrong, that's a red flag for me right there all day long. But anyway, let me get off of that. Just checking in. Have you talked about the Blackmagic Design HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro? Thoughts? There's so much. I've been meaning to do a video on the breakdown of all the new stuff that Blackmagic announced. I need to follow up and do something like that. Just let y'all know, all the Blackmagic stuff has shot up by $100, $150. So the A10 Mini Extreme that used to be $995 is going for $1,095 now. And everything has been bumped up by like $100 to $200. So I need to do that. Yes, sir. Look, y'all get head bobs from me because I mean, this is the whole thing of what the platforms are for. The platforms are to sit out here and not, some people, like I said back in the day, a lot of people were against social media. And again, I used to always say social media is just a tool. And it's like this, it's like Captain America's super soldier serum. All it does is amplify what you already have. So if you start using social media and your heart was bad anyway, it's just going to amplify your reach of sharing your bad heart processes throughout the entire world. If you have a good spirit about what you're trying to do and good intentions, now it's just going to be amplified throughout the entire world. That's what it's about. So with that being said, if you got a good message and you're teaching some stuff, use the platform to share that outside of your country. I mean, outside of your church. I mean, because that's the whole thing. Because there may be somebody that's in Arkansas, Idaho, all through the country, and unfortunately, they're inundated with false teaching. And how do you know if you're in false teaching if everybody around you is saying the same thing? This is why you're supposed to try the fruit. You're supposed to test it to see if it's true. Like my dad always preached. When he preached, he would say, when you go home, go read what I'm talking about and test it to see if it's true. And if anybody preaches saying this is how you need to view it, that's wrong, because the word grows and lives and goes. So right now, this scripture might mean this for me at this point in my life, or this scripture might not mean anything because I'm not at a situation where it's applicable for me right now. But I'm going way too far in the weeds. The idea is to use the stuff that we got to reach, because that's, people are hungry to be entertained, hopefully, and to be taught the truth, not this. What's a less stronger word that I was getting ready to say? They bastardized the way that stuff that says in the Bible that's nowhere close to being true. That it's not. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Anyway, folks, I just want to give a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. These people have been with me for years, and I just want to thank you. I don't have any type of corporate funding except for my own company, and great people like this who support me every month. And if you like what we do, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world, hopefully to empower, encourage y'all to share the message from whether you got a 2-person storefront church or you're at home with your own church. Guess what? You have a message that will impact somebody out here in the world. So, and that's what I want you to do, show you that it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. You can get started with your phone. You can get started with free software like OBS, or maybe work your way up to some hardware switchers and all this other stuff if you need to, because all it is using a tool to share the message and the truth freely. Share the truth with people so that people have an option to be able to hear the truth. That's what it's all about. So again, folks, thank you for everything that you're doing. I know stuff gets hard, because honestly, it ain't a walk in the park on this side. Over here in Richmond, Virginia, it's not. So I just want to, hopefully, this amount of time that y'all with me, I give you some type of encouragement to keep going. I know what it feels like to want to quit. I have those thoughts like maybe every 6 hours, to be quite honest. Keep doing what you're doing. It is much appreciated. There's somebody that you don't know that is thankful for what you're doing. There is somebody that you do not know and that you have not met that is thankful for what you're doing, because they would have never been able to have this interaction, hear the truth, see something online, been impacted if it wasn't for you sitting up, spending your own money, sitting up at night, working hard to understand how this live streaming URLs, RTMP, RTMPSs, and all. If it wasn't for you doing that, somebody else might not have heard the truth. So keep doing what you're doing. Lean into the community. We're here. We're fighting the same battle with you. Go to Facebook, join a community to be associated with over 3,400 media ministries all over the world with people in the battle just like you. Thank you for what you're doing. You're appreciated. We couldn't do this without you. Hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. And we'll be seeing y'all on the next video. And also, those people that won, Michael, Richard, hey, send me an email so I can get you that coupon code. And it's never too late to get registered for the E-Missionary Conference, July 18th and 19th. Be in person, be online. Teachers, please get me your information so I can put your schedule and all this other stuff so we can have a great conference. Like I said, folks, you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is, and we'll be catching you on the next video, folks. Later.